All right, folks. Hope everyone's doing well. I'd like to welcome you to Sumo Logic Security Intelligence webinar here on Securing Against Tomorrow's New Normal. I'm Dana Torgersen, Director of Product Marketing here at the Security Business Unit. Joining me is also Paul Tobia, my Channel Technical Manager for our Security Business Unit. And today, before we get started, just a quick little housekeeping. If you have any questions that you might have that come up, please ask them. Go ahead into your little Zoom Q&A window there. Please go ahead and type in your question. Paul's on hand. He'll be able to get to your questions and address them as I go through the material. I also want to be very respectful of your time, especially in these new normal situation here, that we want to be able to have that, I want to be able to make sure that we give you time back in your day. So we're just going to keep this real short and just keep it right to about 30 minutes for you folks. So you can get on to your next meetings as well. And so with that, let's get started here, shall we? So, gosh, I mean, where should I begin? I mean, right? I mean, what a long, strange trip this has been for all of us. You know, welcome to the new normal, right? Am I right? So, you know, the most obvious aspect of this new normal is this global work from home effort, right? That we're halting the spread of our coronavirus epidemic. Now, for Sumo Logic, you know, our folks, we've been working from home for 2 months now, and our CEO and leadership, they actually made it very clear from the beginning that the health of our employees is a very top priority. And, you know, is working from home disruptive? Sure, yeah, like anything. Has it been stressful at times? Yeah, absolutely. But we need to make sure that we've got healthy Sumo folks that are running and maintaining a smooth surface for our customers as they service their customers as well. And then as far as at-home disruptions, and I'm sure you probably experienced this too, I can definitely vouch for our family dog and how he's loving our new normal. This seemingly endless walks throughout the day from everybody and a doggy bowl heaping with food that never really seems to go down. But as security professionals, and I presume you're acutely aware of the new attack surfaces out there, but we have a broad audience today, so let me summarize some of those concerns. You know, we're seeing that you've got mass remote working has increased the number of endpoints for businesses around the globe, and many are actual personal devices that aren't under the company's control nor under the company's protection as well. And across enterprises, new tools are getting implemented quickly, and in some cases, doing so without the degree of testing that's normally going to be demanded on those services and on those new apps. And when you're talking about organizational assets, you know, they've gone from out at your tucked away at your offices and the company's intranet. Now it's all wide out on the internet. And data protection, that doesn't really cover your employees' home networks either. And another piece of today's new normal that we're experiencing, think about your on-prem infrastructure upkeep, you know, the physical care and the feeding of your private data center, or even just your servers and your network equipment at your office. I mean, did any of you folks here, did you draw the short straw? Did you have to actually head in and ensure everything is running, replace memory and storage if or as needed? And what about security operations folks? I see a lot of folks here that I know have SecOps and functions and SOCs. You know, do you have an on-prem SIM? I mean, folks we've talked to are keeping busy adding storage based on their alert volume, and of course alert volume is going through the roof because of the new attack surfaces and new detections and false positives caused by this new normal. So SOC teams, they're upgrading servers and processing capacity to help their SIM keep up with the demand there. So when we look forward and consider what will the new normal be for tomorrow and the next major event after that and the one after that, I think we're going to see new business models and processes continuously evolve. And depending on the vertical, like look at what we've experienced here with manufacturing. There's got to be a heavy emphasis going forward on automating any human role. And for food processing, we'll clearly have to see new systems put in place to protect line workers, prevent entire plants from being shut down, actually. And if we keep on that same train of thought, tomorrow's new normal is a cloud-first world, a world free from restrictions of physical deployments, with business continuity and disaster recovery capabilities built in, along with elastic scale that's more efficient with your resources and, of course, being more efficient with your own budget. A cloud-first world really facilitates working from home with secure and reliable enterprise services. I'd say, actually, if you're actually in search of a scalable cloud-native apps, you're looking for security services to support business continuity, really, now is the time, not tomorrow, I would say. So Sumo Logic, we were actually born in the cloud for this new cloud-first world. In fact, we were architected natively in Amazon Web Services, and we run our entire company in the cloud. So today, to focus in on with our security intelligence portfolio, we actually have the ability and the capability to cover a broad spectrum of security use cases. Our continuous intelligence platform for security is our foundational cloud-native platform, which customers use as their CLM, central log management. They use it for audit and compliance use cases. And of course, what we're primarily talking about here today, using it for AWS security. This platform is what's bringing to bear a host of capabilities. It depends on the security acumen, the talent, who's using the product, and how far you want to go with the solution. You could just have simply log storage with data tiering, extensive log query. You could have investigative analytics tools right there at your fingertips, along with cloud and modern app context that makes sense of the data that you're sending into us, and then actually draw inferences and conclusions as you're investigating potential threats. And the entire platform brings folks together within your organization. This isn't just building something in a silo for just 10 lucky folks. No, this is unifying dev team, ops team, security team together on one single platform, one solution. Now, Cloud SIEM Enterprise, I've highlighted that here in dark or hot pink, I guess that's hot pink, yeah. This is our premier security solution. This delivers a full stack modern SaaS SIEM, and that's in addition to our continuous intelligence platform. This is what's bringing additional unique differentiated features like our automated alert triage and prioritization, aggregation breadth plus enrichment, rich out-of-box global content that helps get you up and running for rapid time to value, and a security ops investigation workflow that is actually designed and thought through and built by security analysts for security analysts. And it's all delivered with a modern security analyst user experience that was persona-driven and built purposely for those folks on the front lines. So at the moment, let me just kind of take away Cloud SIEM Enterprise. We'll get to that in a second here for this webinar. I just want to first focus on how Sumo Logic can help organizations who have data everywhere, and in particular, securing their apps, services, and data in Amazon Web Services. So here with AWS security, and this is one of the use cases that we've got, you've got challenges of a lack of a full stack AWS security visibility. That's what a lot of customers come to us and present us with. And they have a set of fragmented tools that they're trying to bring together to gain that centralized view, but it still is not what exactly they need. And in fact, once they do that, it is just going to be in AWS centric services, and it's not accommodating for any other areas or pockets where they might have environments with other data running in a private data center or their on-prem information as well. So the solution that we're able to offer customers is this platform that's built natively in AWS, pre-built security content that's specifically designed and tailored to AWS, which I'll show you in a second here. And as I just mentioned, this unified security and operational team platform, bringing those teams and those functions together, and that's offering complete visibility across all of your AWS deployments. And the benefits there are pretty straightforward. Like most things, if you're going to work with AWS, you're going to have a lot of benefits of getting deployed, learning, and using it within days, rapid time to value. But we're also helping you go further and avoid human errors and potential misconfigurations that might be able to crop up, especially when many hands are all in the environment, all trying to do the right thing, but you never know what switch might be left undone or what gaps there might be. Another great benefit is the ability to enforce compliance and help demonstrate compliance, and then of course guarantee data privacy as well. So with that, let's go ahead and I'll flip over into the thing. And by the way, I just want to make sure folks know that this is not to scale. These people are not closer than 6 feet. I swear to God. Let me pop over here. There we go. And I think I can make this back to full screen again. All right, this should be a good, comfortable size for you folks to see. So let me really begin, with Sumo Logic's continuous intelligence platform here for security. You can gain visibility, you can gain insights from your entire AWS environment. And this is using our pre-built security and compliance dashboards. And in fact, Sumo customers like Pokemon and Medidata, they're just two examples of organizations who are cloud first and heavily using Amazon Web Services. We actually have written use cases for those great companies. So you can read more about the challenges that they faced and how they're using Sumo Logic to secure against tomorrow's new normal today. I should also mention, I want to be respectful that maybe some of you folks might be newer to AWS and now you're in charge of or working to secure those services. We have a great blog post by Graham Watts from Sumo Logic. He provides an awesome overview of how Sumo aligns with the AWS's well-architected framework security pillar and all of its cloud security best practices that come with that framework. You can find that out on our blog page at sumologic.com/blog. So let me start off by sharing with you our Sumo app catalog. Basically, you can come right in, and then you have at your fingertips all of these more than 200 apps across all these categories, help get our customers deployed, get up and running quickly, and begin ingesting data from really any source. But since we're focusing our discussion today around Amazon Web Services, let me click right here. There we go. And show you the breadth of services and data we have out-of-the-box content for. And this is in the form of pre-built dashboards and queries for these services. And we make it very straightforward and easy. You simply click in on the data type that you're hoping to add. You can review them here. You can preview what the dashboards will look like and rifle through them to your heart's content. And then when you're ready to add them, you add them to your library. And I've already taken that step and jumped ahead here for us. And I've lined them up as these little tiles or tabs that we have across the continuous intelligence platform for quick, easy viewing. So let me start off here then with AWS CloudTrail. I'll let that load here. We've got multiple dashboards to choose from, like monitoring all of your CloudTrail console logins here. And you can see login events by user, login events over time, any outliers for successful logins or perhaps failed logins, and to see what those trends are looking like, as well as logins that are coming from multiple IP addresses or people coming in from outside the USA. This is great if your company is a little bit isolationist or want to actually pinpoint specific areas so you can have real, easy to understand, easy to grok alerts that are for potential bad activity in areas that maybe you'd never do business with. This would be a great way of allocating that. Now, if I move to the next one here with our network and our security dashboard, here you'll glean more information about network and security events. You can get authorization failures. You can actually also pick up security group and ACL changes, as well as any short-lived critical operations that might be happening within your environment. Now, since we're talking about CloudTrail data so far here, here's a great example. I'll bring this one up of how you can actually craft a query here to alert off of any S3 bucket policy changes that are going on during, say, I chose here the last 60 minutes. And then another kind of that same vein, here's another example of how you can create an alert from a scheduled query where you can scrub all your AWS data for any virtual private cloud changes. So now you can quickly review the results and determine if say this user here, this gentleman, Mr. Goal, should he be actually deleting all these VPCs? Is that permitted? Should be doing that in the first place? These are great questions as a threat investigator, as a security analyst. I'm sure you'd be keenly desiring to find out. Now, guard duty, let me flip to this one here. Guard duty, of course, this is a threat detection service. It's continuously monitoring for AWS threats and it's generating very detailed alerts. So our Sumo application for guard duty, and this is just showing one of the dashboards, consolidates all those threats that AWS is recognizing right there within your environment. And using several dashboards, we actually help you detect unexpected and potentially malicious activities in your AWS account. This guard duty overview dashboard, it's showing a map of geolocated threats, the threat severity that's happening, threat purpose, the resource type, as well as threat name, account IDs, region, and so on. Again, trying to bring to life and visualize all that data that that folks are telling us they need help with in understanding exactly how all these services are interrelated and being able to correlate these threats amongst that data that's just streaming in. Okay, so many of you know how strong our security community is, and as a community we collaborate, we unify, and we do that to defend our enterprises. So with Sumo, there's no exception to that. And as such, here are just a few apps that I want to show you where we're actually bringing in external feeds, or we're applying best practices. And we do that of your threat data against the larger security community. So in this first example here for GIS, this is our global intelligence service for guard duty. So this particular app, it analyzes guard duty threats from other Sumo Logic customers, and we're creating a baseline of threats, actually. And this enables you to optimize your security posture and what you're going to do for remediation based on how unusual your guard duty findings are in comparison to Sumo Logic's customers. And of course, all the data is anonymized, but it allows you to have that baseline. So in this particular one I'm showing you here, this global baseline dashboard, now I can actually see a quick high-level baseline of threats. And these panels then display graphs for threat and severity distribution, targeted resources, the relative rarity of threats as well. Another angle about this community at large, here is CIS AWS Foundation's benchmark app that I'm loading up. This app actually provides dashboards and searches that allow you to alert on and gain operational visibility into your AWS security posture. And we're doing that by mapping to Section 3, which is on monitoring of the Center for Internet Security's benchmark recommendation, and what they prescribe as best practices for securing Amazon Web Services. So again, now I'm able to see console logins that happened without multi-factor authentication, root account logins, outliers, failed console logins based on locations. Now you can quickly understand with geolocation where those failed logins might be coming from, and using that in this monitoring benchmark as well. Now if I do one more here I want to share with you. This is on the threat intelligence for AWS. So this app really, as it loads here, it helps you identify security threats, and we're correlating daily updated threat definitions from CrowdStrike. And we're doing that against all of your log data using our threat lookup service. So with the included dashboards and pre-built queries, you can actually analyze threats in your AWS, your CloudTrail logs, your VPC flow logs, your Elastic Load Balancing Classic logs, and you can get a complete overview here with this dashboard. Now, one thing I should mention is that we apply, this is a top concern for many customers, as you can probably imagine. We apply best-in-class technologies, and we put in rigorous process to put the safety of our customers' data first. And when it comes to cardholder data, the Sumo Core platform is actually PCI DSS 3.2 Service Provider Level 1 certified and attested. And I believe we are now 5 years going on with that certification. As you can probably appreciate, every single one of those years, we have to keep closing any gaps that are found as you go through your QSA audits. So one example for how we work to make compliance easier for you is through our PCI compliance for AWS CloudTrail app. Now this offers dashboards like this one here, and you're able to monitor your systems, your accounts, access, and user activity to help ensure that login activity and privileged users and activities are all within expected ranges or within those expectations. So this particular CloudTrail app for PCI in particular that I'm showing you here is actually covering off on PCI requirements 1, 8, and in this case, I'm actually covering off on 10, showing all the different login activities that could be happening, the login successes, as well as the failures. Now, finally, to close out our continuous intelligence platform walkthrough here is this one more example, and this is from our work from home solution. Now, this is actually a suite, especially in this new normal that we live in. It's a suite of all these in-depth apps that provide visibility and management for your remote workforce with opportunities for single sign-on here. We've got remote access apps, your endpoint security apps that you may be running. Perhaps it's CrowdStrike or Carbon Black or Cylance, all right there at your fingertips, as well as any SaaS productivity apps, including, I haven't added it here, but recently we just added Zoom for your video conferencing technologies, as well as other additional AWS monitoring. So in one simple dashboard here, this solution set And again, this is all, I probably didn't underscore this earlier, this is all included in our product. I have not described anything here that is an add-on or an extra charge or requires some sort of professional services lift. These are all simply derived from going into our app catalog and getting you up and running quickly across whatever it is that data source is that you're probably trying to bring in. Okay, well, let me flip back here real quick, folks. And now I want to continue on where we had left off. I mentioned previously Sumo's security intelligence portfolio covers a broad range of use cases, and we're doing this for a wide variety of users and groups within ops, development, and security teams. So really, the Cloud SIEM Enterprise, which is our premier security solution, delivers a full cloud-native SIEM and SOC analytics automation capabilities, but it's bringing to bear a purpose-built workflow for security analysts in SOCs. And so the challenges that we're facing here, the transformation to cloud, the explosion of new attack surfaces that people are seeing with all these different systems coming online, and of course, the attack surface changing with work from home didn't help things much. But even before all this global pandemic, these were challenges that folks were facing every single day. And if I'm talking to the SOC analysts right now on the call, alert fatigue, I'm sure, is the most visceral and tangible pain point and challenge that you face with thousands of alerts coming in. You can barely get to half of them, maybe on a good day. So what we're delivering is this opportunity to have this cloud-native platform of ours. Again, it's built natively in AWS, folks, with automated security operations, and we're delivering this modern analyst experience, both through our workflows and in our user experience, as I'm showing here on the user interface on the left-hand side here, all purposely built and tuned. And as you can see, it is different than the UI I was showing you before, because this UI, the experience, is actually focused on you folks on the call today, which are working in SOC, security analysts, people in security operations in general, that would to be on the mission of finding those critical incidents. And the benefit you're getting is that automatic correlation of threats, and we're doing so across your cloud, multi-cloud, of course, Amazon Web Services, and your on-premises sources too. So we're pulling in user information, device information, and network data and traffic information, thanks to our included sensor from the open source Zeek sensor. We're automating workflows, and we're improving SecOps processes and efficiencies right there within the product for our customers. So let me flip over to a quick demo of Cloud SIEM Enterprise here. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to let it auto load. The page is continuously updating. I'll have to hit the space bar or anything, so if it changes, don't sweat it. But in automating of SOC level 1 analyst workflows and collecting logs and analyzing events to identify threats and reduce dwell time, this is the solution that we put to bear for our customers. The main purpose of taking this approach and using Cloud SIEM Enterprise is to be able to get through all that noise, all those alerts that you, in a normal day with normal existing legacy tool sets, you just simply can't get to. So what I mean by that is we're taking in and we're looking at all these normalized records, 288 million apparently in my last 24 hours in this demo environment I have here. We're whittling that down, bringing that down to 4,000 signals. Now that would be what others would call an enriched alert or a notable event. But that's where legacy SIEMs and even next-gen, so-called next-gen SIEM solutions stop. They give you those 4,000 alerts and they say, go have at it. And now you're left to your own manual processes or your string of other tools that you've had to invest in to try to be able to make sense of all that 4,000 pieces of alerts and events that came through in just the last 24 hours. Again, this is the gift that keeps on giving, right? It just keeps on spewing out every single day as your telemetry and your data and your logs and events are coming in, generating more and more of those signals. Our unique value add, our unique differentiator is that we don't stop just with those signals. We go further, and what we do is we actually boil those down to insights. And these insights are denoted here in my center mass as these red triangle icons. Now, on the outer perimeter here, I can show that the records and how they've ingested and how it's ebbed and flowed as we go clockwise around from top dead center around the clock. And this is a 24-hour view. If I wanted to do a 72-hour view, there's no harm in that. Of course, I can go out to a 7-day view as well. And as the map is changing, and now, of course, in the last week, you can see I've whittled down 1 billion records to just 51 insights. 51 insights over a 7-day period. I don't care if you've got 2, 1, 3 analysts. You could definitely be able to get to these critical incidents for sure. Now we've got additional peripheral information on the sides here about sensor status, and you can find out what sensors the health are. Maybe a sensor needs to have a patch or an update. We make this very extremely easy for you to update and maintain. Again, all cloud native. You don't have to have a dedicated body and ProServe trying to keep this thing running for you folks. Now, these insights is really what's critical. This is what you're going to spend most of your time looking at. And these insights are showing all the different signals that make up. And this is what's telling the story of it. And on the right, I can see a quick insight activity for an insider threat. Apparently, there was some lateral movement with increased traffic. I'm denoting the IP address, but it could be a username or a host name as well that this is associated with. I can see my dwell time, 14 days and running. It's made up of 11 signals, and they get mapped across this grid in this baseball card view. So you can understand that a lot of these are low and under the severity level of 5. These are pretty stealthy signals that are happening, stealthy activities and events. And so that's the importance of bringing in all that data so we can draw those correlations and show that to you in those detections. But in general, analysts are going to be working out of our insights page. They're going to be using the entire team to get on the same page because we offer this Kanban style board view. There's other views that you can have if you prefer differently. And this allows you to have customized boards that you can tailor the names to mimic or align with what you're already using with your workflows for your SOC team. So as you have new, in progress, pending incident response, tier 2, open, closed, you can just be dragging and dropping and moving these from board to board as you take ownership or sort out the incidents that you're currently working on. And in particular, as you scroll through, you can see all this plethora of different activities. Okay, we're talking about AWS today. Let me grab this one here. Here's Insight. We give them unique numbering, 4347. This is AWS. It's a privilege escalation, and it was exhibiting some lateral movement. So again, like that little baseball card view, which was on my previous heads-up display page, here on this one single insight, which is made up of 8 unique signals, those signals which were triggered by rules, and again, this speaks to our content that's ready to go out of the box, is basically laying out at your feet here the story of what this attack was. And as you hover over it or click on it or drill down into the individual signals that make up this insight, you can start to get a sense of the order that operations, the MITRE attack framework that each one of these different signals are mapped to. In this case, clearly somebody's trying to evade their fingerprints and the footprints on the attack. So somebody's turning off and deleting alarms using an AWS APL call. That's not great. So when I drill down into that signal, I get to even further now investigate and see, well, what records made up that signal? And I'm presented with all the rich information and all the metadata that came from that record, as well as the ability, if I wanted to see it in a raw view. I know that some people look at things differently, and we want to make sure that it's flexible for you and your team and how you operate. You can also export a CSV file, a JSON file, if you want to be able to get that off into another tool that you're used to using. When you're ready and you realize that this is a valid threat and you feel comfortable about this, not comfortable that you have a threat, but you feel that you've got a handle on the situation, now you want to formulate your response, we've got the ability to create comments here. You can create tags, which are great for later searching across your entire team if you have little crib notes or notations that you want to use. You also have the ability to take ownership. I could assign it to myself, change the status, and then take actions. And so you can automatically trigger an action to maybe send off to Demisto for a SOAR tool, or maybe sending an email off to your ticketing agency if you use ServiceNow as part of your service, sending off to Slack and all the automations that they have there as well. And then the sending off to PagerDuty. Now, some of these are automated, and that's set up in the customized actions. And the rest of these are actually just on demand, allowing me to click as an analyst, just as I'm seeing here. And at the very end of the process, when you're ready to close out the insight, you close it out. You have the ability to say, yes, I've resolved it, make a comment. No, actually, it was a false positive, in which case that's great feedback loop for our algorithm. Maybe take no action. It was triggered. It's an incident, but it's not a false positive. Or maybe this is duplicative. Whatever the resolution or reason, you can just choose that, make your comments, close out the insight, and get on with your day. Because as I mentioned before, the day doesn't stop. These records are going to keep coming in. We're still going to keep boiling them down and curating them into signals that are more manageable. And then, of course, white gloving you, handing you these individual insights of where we're at. So that is a quick overview of our Cloud SIEM enterprise. Let me hop right back here again, folks. All right, so with that, let's go ahead, take some questions. Paul, I'd like to open it up. Paul is our Channel Technical Manager for Sumo Logic Security BU. We've had, I can see different questions that have come through here, Paul. Let me start with this one here. Okay, let's see if I got this right. For your core Sumo platform, what all AWS security integrations can be done for dashboarding? Okay, I think, Paul, what do you say to that?
Yeah, so I think you showed a lot of that, Dana, actually during your demo. So, we drill into, all the basics around CloudTrail and CloudWatch, but we go additionally into other services that are provided through AWS and other security services, all the way up to Security Hub, but including things like GuardDuty and the other management systems as well. One of the things I do want to call out here, though, is that we actually have, as a joint project with us in AWS, we have an AWS Quick Start that's out there and available or will be available shortly that includes CloudFormation templates that help you get those services set up quickly within your own environment, those AWS services set up quickly, and have them feeding the data into Sumo Logic. So it's kind of that easy button to be able to not only get those security and monitoring services up and running, but have them pushing their information into Sumo Logic right off the bat.
Perfect. Now, folks, I'm looking at my watch here. Gosh, I'm so excited about security. I've kind of brought us over. Let's take just one more question, Paul. I see we have how are alerts set up, or is there something recommended, like right out of the box?
Yeah, so again, what you showed with a lot of that stuff, not so much in the CSE side of things, but on the continuous intelligence platform side, right? We have content out of the box in both cases. So those applications that you saw during the demo, right, that's going to be able to take that raw messages that we're getting from those services, including AWS, and provide you with those visualizations and insights right off the bat. And then over on the Cloud SIEM Enterprise side, it's a similar issue where we've got parsers and mappers and rules, right? The usual SIEM engine stuff that we provide, right, to get you up and running out of the box, not just with AWS, but with a lot of other data sources and use cases that you have. So there is a lot of content out of the box for both of those systems. You just need to make sure that you're sending the data to the Sumo Logic environment that's in that format that it understands.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Paul. I appreciate that. For those of you on today's call who are already AWS customers, I want to let you know that you can purchase Sumo Logic through the AWS Marketplace. And in particular, if you're signed up with AWS's Enterprise Discount Program, investing in security from Sumo Logic will actually apply and help you retire some of your commitment. And they offer flexible consumption and contract models, and they have the benefit of consolidated billing and simplifying your license management. So if you want to learn more about this great opportunity, please ask your AWS account representative for more information. So on behalf of Paul and all our dedicated Sumo Logic staff, I'd like to thank you for your time today and ask you to please embrace this new world we're operating in, but absolutely plan for tomorrow and all that it'll bring. I'm Dana Torgersen, Director of Product Marketing of the Sumo Logic Security Business Unit. Thank you, folks, and have a great day.